Hello to all the geek enthusiasts and nerd aficionados. Mess 5150 here, back this week. MaliceCast TV Talks live. Welcome to the show. We are going to be talking on this week's episode about The Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 5, The Big Scary You. Not you, the You, which stands for unknown, if you weren't getting that. But that's what the U actually stands for.
Didn't actually think about it all that much.
But for those that are just joining us that haven't been on the cast before, this might be a big scary you because you don't know what these weird people are that are just here talking. Just to give you kind of a feedback of what's going on here, we are a couple average Joes and Joette that like to just sit down and talk about all things nerd. And we happen to love The Walking Dead and we love geeking out on it. And we like being able to geek out with others. So if you're here watching live, please join the live chat room. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Loved it, hated it, favorite scenes, worst scenes. We're going to get more in depth on the episode. About a 45-minute podcast just talking about the episode. And come back every week because we do this weekly. In fact, if you want to know when we are doing it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. That's the one that's going to really let you know when things are going on. Because we do more than just the Walking Dead. We also do Supernatural. And we have another podcast that's on hiatus right now. But definitely come back, join us again. And we'd appreciate you being here. So let's get into it. As I said before, I'm Mess 5150. I'll be the one hosting this. And my panel of buddies talking Walking Dead with me. I have ICZorro. How's it going?
What's going on, folks? Don't remember, actually, if you're going to watch this live or subscribe or like, when we're doing this live, when we're streaming live, we have generally pretty decent conversations in our chat channel on the YouTube video as well. So that's a lot of fun. Get in there.
Absolutely. And then we also have the big fan of Walking Dead, Die Hard.
Yes.
There is no wrong that this show can do. Mrs. Malice.
Hi.
So
My phone is
so timid.
sounds.
So timid.
The blood and gore starts.
Let's get into it. So
Absolutely.
we've had 5 episodes now. This is being the 5th. Rankings for the season so far. What do we think about the episode?
I would say this one was definitely a step up from last week. I would say last week was the lowest, the least enjoyable of the 5 so far, because it felt like it was just all stuff that had already happened and already been covered. I didn't need to see it again. This one I really enjoyed. We've been waiting to see what's going on with Negan and Gabriel in that trailer for a long time. And the fact that they started even before that with the meeting of the lieutenants or whatever that Negan was having, I really enjoyed that.
Wait. I've wanted to say this forever. This is the first, guys. We have God watching us.
I know.
Welcome God to the chat room.
I know, right? And
God.
God didn't know what happened. That's confusing.
But
And funny enough that this episode it has Gabriel a lot in it too. So
that's why God's here, because he was praying. That's how we opened up the episode. Was
no Jesus.
We got some flashbacks. One of those being Gabriel praying to not have a pointless death.
Yeah.
Let him do something.
I've really come around on that character. When he was first introduced, I thought, man, this guy sucks. He was just terrible.
Eat him, please.
Right. And now I'm actually kind of enjoying him. Like, I mean, we'll talk later about what at the very end of the episode, but he seems to have real purpose at this point, and I'm enjoying that.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
That's the ranking of this episode. It'd probably be an 8 for me. So it was pretty
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of dithering around with useless stuff. We didn't get any more speeches from people that we've already heard the same thing over and over again. We got to see some more of the inner workings of the Saviors, which I thought was really kind of cool.
And
I'm
we
still
got a backstory on Negan too. A little
yeah,
backstory.
a little bit of history.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was
That's what I wanted to talk about. We were once again we started with flashbacks. So this is an episode. This is just a season of let's go back and see what happened before we come back to the present again. And
here's the magic trick, but what you didn't see.
This is how
We saw the lieutenants and Negan discussing Rick and the widow, which we know is Maggie, and King Ezekiel, and kind of what they had to
I don't
do.
think that's what he called him, but yeah, we'll go with the King.
No, that was not quite the phrasing.
No.
But I the power that Negan has, that you see when he turns that switch, and how many times has he had to beaten Lucille onto that freaking table?
I know, right? Did you see how hard it was? Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how many impassioned speeches has he had to give them? Because crap, that table is wrecked.
Yeah.
I want to recommend a video to you guys if you want to go check it out later. I found out Funny or Die does a weekly, the most ridiculous things on the episodes. And they did one for this one. And the links are in the descriptions below for that specific video. But they talk about the pockmarks, and they're just like, what else has he had to complain about? Somebody was taking my lunch from the fridge again. All these different things. He's like, and if the special yeah. Like, if the special effects guys are this good at putting the pockmarks on the table, maybe they should learn to put bullet holes into the cars.
They've been doing a decent job of that. I actually noticed that. I think it was last week. But I want to, yeah, what other things is Negan complaining about? Somebody ate all the gummy bears.
But yeah, we see how the inner workings are. Did you guys catch the finger that Negan threw?
Yes, I did. I don't know how much more this we can take.
He did the whole pulling the eye trick.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I must have missed. That's something I missed.
When he's talking to Gregory, and Gregory's talking about that he's the man, that they'll listen to him. You know,
so you were the man the whole time and have been the man the whole time. Yeah, no, that was great.
And can we discuss Gregory's love for pancakes? What the heck is that all about?
Yeah, what is that all about?
If you go to a throwback on one of the episodes, apparently Gregory stole pancakes from an 8-year-old girl. They were talking about in the story one.
That's true. I think that's when he was trying to get back into the gate, and the guy was like, "You stole pancakes from a little kid." He was like, "No, I didn't."
So,
my pancakes.
Yeah, he is
a trash character, and that's his whole purpose. He's a weasel. He's scum. The fact that he was ever in charge of anybody in the first place was just, ugh.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
Hopefully he doesn't last much longer. He's a character I wouldn't mind seeing going.
It's got to be a worthwhile death, though. He's such a scummy piece of garbage. It's got to be something just really degrading.
Lucille, just smack him around a bit. That's what I want to see.
I don't know if there's anything that can be degrading enough to. I mean, it's just kind of the same thing with Game of Thrones and Littlefinger.
Yeah,
that's exactly like what he is.
We didn't get what we wanted out of the Littlefinger death, and I don't know if there would have been a death that would have met up to the terms of what we would have wanted.
I don't think there could have been anything satisfying enough. Yeah.
So, but we talked about it last week about what this episode was going to be about, and essentially was what we thought, and it was pretty much Negan and Gabriel sitting and talking and talking and talking, but
it was satisfying.
Yeah,
it was extremely satisfying. But what the title of this episode should have been Head Games, because the mind games that were being played everywhere. It was. I love that they threw in Eugene and Dwight.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the chessboard, because that's essentially what was going on this entire game, or this entire episode. It was it's a whole chess match that's going on.
Did you catch the several side-eye glances that Eugene threw at Dwight, kind of like pondering, well, I know I haven't been or I haven't been giving a lot of secrets to Rick's group. I'm pretty sure it's you.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Eugene definitely knows it's him.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely knows now, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a factor of fear, because he knows if anybody's going to get blamed, he's the one that has the connection. And
and he calls that out. He goes, "I understand, why." I can't even come up with all the different pros that he uses, because that dude, That dude uses $5 words like they're candy. Just he's always using more syllables than needed. But yeah, he basically says, "Oh no, I understand why people would think that I'm the rat. I get it. I'm not."
Yeah, it's definitely understandable because he was in Rick's group. So yeah, he would, be the likely suspect in the matter. But
do we think that he is redeemable at this point? Like, I mean, he's the ultimate survivor. He's basically just doing this to stay safe. But if, as we hope, Rick's group truly wins the war between them and the Saviors, do we accept Eugene back into the Alexandrians or the Hilltop or wherever?
I think his only saving grace might be Rosita, because she's known him longer. So if he's going to get redeemed, she would be his lucky bet. If
he's not scripting ways to attack Rick, and the Hilltop and stuff like that. So yeah, he's been made a lieutenant, but he's kind of the same as where the workers are at. The deal was, you keep us safe and we work for you.
Yeah.
Kind of where he's at. He's just been given a little bit higher level because Negan understands how smart he is in terms of being able to get stuff
ability,
done.
figuring stuff out. Yeah.
And that's one of the key questions that I wanted to ask you guys based off of this episode. So we do get a little bit of backstory on Negan. We get that he was a school teacher, is what we're assuming, because he worked with kids.
Yeah.
Before the zombie apocalypse, he had a first wife that he wasn't a faithful man to, but
what a shock.
Which then explains why he has so many wives too.
Yeah. But if you guys want more detail on this, there is a one-shot comic called Here's Negan, which is where a lot of this came from for the episode. Amazon, great resource for getting anything, comic books, trade paperback, stuff like that. If you want to help out these group of Joe and Joette that are sitting here just talking about Walking Dead, you'll see a website written right there. It's malice-corp.com. That is our website. There is a link to it in the description below. Click on that. Go to Amazon through our link, and it helps us out greatly to be able to bring this content and be able to sit down with you guys and talk and write articles and stuff like that. So we appreciate it if you guys want to do it that way. Plus Black Friday's coming up, so you're going to Amazon anyways.
Cyber Monday and all that. Yeah.
But yeah, Here's Negan. Definitely check it out. That gives you a lot more of the backstory within the comic books with Negan. But
I know in previous seasons I read the novelization of the governor's history, which was pretty cool.
He explained where he came from before and his sole purpose. Yeah, he loves killing now. That's what he told Gregory. I like killing, but killing when it's required, when it's the right moment to do it.
Yep. The right person, the right situation, when it needs to be done. Yeah, might as well.
And he explains that if he doesn't get back into the sanctuary, a lot more people are going to die. That
and he's right.
He's the one keeping everything in control. So, being that Negan knows this, is Negan really a bad guy, or is it just the lieutenants that are a bad guy and he's just learned how to play the system?
And I think it's the lieutenants that are a bad guy, because you see it in this episode that they're like, you people go back down, blah, blah, blah. And they're all like, where's Negan? Where's Negan? We're not going to listen to you. Where's Negan? They wanted Negan. So Negan, in their eyes, and now in my eyes, I think he's not a bad dude. It's his lieutenants. I mean, come on, just look at Simon. He's stupid enough to be a bad guy.
And that's exactly it. How overpowering is Simon behind the scenes?
Well, and the thing is, Simon thinks he knows how to play power, but he doesn't. He's just being loud and being kind of a douche.
Yep.
But it's clearly not working. Negan has a presence. He's got that ability to command a room, to command a crowd. There's a reason he's the leader there. And yeah, we definitely got into some moral gray area with him now, where you can kind of see, like, okay, yeah, no, he's doing this with a greater good purpose in mind. When Simon suggests killing everybody at what was it, the Hilltop or something like that, you'd know people are a resource. That's when he lost his mind, and started hitting the table with Lucille.
Yep.
people are a resource. We are the saviors for a reason. They're out there to save people. It's just that they have to live by his rules.
Yep.
And in his mind, it's a totally workable system. It's totally justified. And you can kind of see it's working.
Yeah,
Like
and
they're one of the largest groups in this apocalypse for a reason. His system is working.
And I mean, it's his way too of keeping them safe. That's how he sees it. It's his way of keeping them safe. So he does it that way to keep his people safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, Gabriel calls him out and says, you know, you killed, and he's like, yeah, I killed the widow's husband. I killed the ginger, but
I'm not why they got killed.
Yeah. You know, he puts the blame on Rick. He throws the blame elsewhere, but he does make a point that, you know, they stuck their noses someplace that they weren't supposed to in Negan's mind. And he's created this society that essentially works despite the crime and punishment side being not actually getting a proper trial on stuff. but
you got to figure this is essentially, I mean, they still have the remnants of technology from the modern world, but this is essentially getting into medieval times where might truly does make right. And you can't, it's a straight up survival situation. You can't be too worried about the niceties of civilized life because they're not in civilized life.
Well, let me ask you. So if zombie apocalypse happens today, and knowing the way things go, do you think you would turn more out like Negan or more like Rick trying to hold on to humanity?
I'd like to think that I'd be more like Rick and the Alexandrians, obviously, but I could totally see myself being a savior.
Yeah.
It depends. It would depend on what group you end up meeting first.
Yep.
Because as charismatic as each of those guys are, if you fall into their group, you're going to follow that leadership and pretty much believe in whatever they're telling you.
Yeah.
What about you, Mrs. Malice?
I think I would end up following more of Rick's group because of the fact that they seem more family oriented and what's the word? I can't think of the word right now.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'd be happy with the threat of a hot iron to the face as punishment.
Yeah. So like seeing that, I'd rather go with something that's a little bit easier. Well, not easy, but you know, kinder versus ruling with an iron fist kind of thing. Because even though Rick is a not bad person, but like an awesome person, whatever word I could use for there. Yeah, badass person. He still has that kind side to him because, of course, he has his son and his daughter. So he still has to hold on to it to be human and not turn into somebody vicious because he has a family to look after.
So now I'm throwing
all of that.
Now I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. So majority of people, I'm assuming, would say, "Oh, I'd be more like Rick. I'm not going to become a cold, heartless man," you know. But here's the situation: Rick took a turn for the worse seasons ago and started down that path. Carol, same situation. Took a turn for the worse and started down that path. They had other people to bring him back in. Negan says in this episode that once he lost his wife, that's where he was weak, and he wouldn't let himself be weak again.
What he said made him weak was his inability to kill her after she turned.
Yeah, but still, the factor that he, you know, he wasn't able to just do what had to be done.
Sure.
And so
I would argue that's what made him who he is now.
Exactly. And you see how easy it is for the common person to flip that switch. And if you don't have those other people to try and bring you back in and rein you in.
No, I totally get it.
Then when they become more like Negan.
Well, that's the one thing we don't know about Negan as well. Yeah, we got a little bit of backstory, but he said when he came across this group, they were in shambles and stuff like that. They were like
reference to the guy that used to lead them.
Yeah. So did Negan join this group by himself and go, these guys are weaklings, they need to be taught how to stand up? Or did he come with the group? And I think it was more he came across them by himself, didn't have that support system to tell him how to be more. And he just looked at it as, you guys need to survive. You need to have somebody that's going to show you, because I've been in that situation where I didn't do what was required, so I'm going to show you guys you need to do what's required.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense to me.
it goes all back to what I was saying before. Is Negan really a bad guy? And it's really hard after this episode to say 100% yes. I would think, dude.
Well, you can't exactly say that Rick is a good guy. He's like you said, done some bad things.
But the thing that's what I wanted to follow up with in this episode. He's trying. You see
the fight with Daryl.
Yeah.
So once the whole mirror situation again with killing Gracie's father and seeing himself in the mirror and Morales calling him a monster and it's brought him back again. So now it's like we have to be real people, which I think is going to go back to causing more issues again when he gets to Hilltop, because Tara's going to expect him to be like, no, we need to kill all these people. And he's already stated to Daryl, that's not how it's going to be. That's not the way we need to do things.
Yeah.
That was a fun scene. The Daryl and Rick conflict there.
So
I'll break it down.
Anybody not think was going to happen what happened with the whole exploding and losing the guns and stuff like that? Or?
As soon as we saw that the truck was leaking gas, I was like, "Oh, yep, something's gonna blow up."
I was like, "That's the biggest foreshadowing, ever."
You don't put dripping liquid off a crashed, smoldering truck if you're not gonna blow it up later.
But it
Mrs. Malice.
The zombies came, so what was up with that too? You would have attracted zombies.
We know Mrs. Malice, as we've established in episodes before, that she loves the blood and gore,
carnage.
And loves Daryl. So
who doesn't love Daryl?
Who was right and who was wrong, Daryl or Rick? Mrs. Malice.
Rick was right. Daryl was wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Rick was morally right. Daryl was practically right.
Yeah.
Not as much of a fangirl as she seems, huh? She doesn't just go with what Daryl says.
Both. So in that situation, what they were fighting for, Rick was right. He was wrong. So, but there have been times where it was flip-flop too, where Daryl was right and Rick was wrong.
Daryl was practically right. They could have ended the entire conflict right then by using that dynamite properly. That's true. Granted, they would have killed a ton of people, including families. Absolutely. And that would have, again, this season is sort of a season of moral gray areas. And we're definitely seeing that Rick is trying to stay on the light side and Negan is not as concerned. Daryl is not as concerned. But do you consider ending the entire conflict in one fell swoop to be morally wrong? Because that would prevent a lot more, like a drawn out war.
I think Rick, though, too, he doesn't want to hurt the people in there because the way he sees that as more people for him too. So
he also mentions the factor of it can create an even longer war, which he makes good sense on this, because if they pick up guns and they start fighting, if you make Negan a martyr and that he was right, that this big bad man is going to come and kill you guys, and I'm just trying to keep you safe. I'm just trying to protect you. But
I saved you.
Yeah. If that dynamite goes off and does that, he has now proven that Negan has been telling the truth the whole time. Because once again, hey, I brought his kid here. Did I hurt him? He tried to hurt me, but I didn't do anything to him. I brought Eugene here. I didn't hurt him. I brought him into the fold. The only people that we've caused any issues with from that group whenever they come to the sanctuary is Daryl, because he wouldn't get with the program. Even though he tried telling him get with the program, and you're
on Easy Street.
Yeah,
and dude, that was running through my head at the end of the episode too.
And then same thing with Gabby. No, I can't remember her name now. The one that you last.
Was it Sasha?
The what?
Guys, if you can remember who we're talking about that killed herself and became a zombie last season,
that was Sasha.
Wrote in the comments. Okay, Sasha. Same situation. He wasn't trying to kill her. She killed herself. He was pissed when he found out that she was dead in the thing.
He thought she had, what was it, beach ball size lady
nuts.
Lady nuts.
Now, even Glenn and Abraham, like, you got to remember, Rick's group killed everyone at the satellite installation in their sleep, semi unprovoked.
Negan would have never killed Glenn if Daryl hadn't punched him.
That's true.
He only was going to kill one, and he killed Abraham, and that's the whole thing.
Sucked for Abraham and sucked for all of them. But
so some key points with that fight, since we got into it, the Rick and Daryl fight. One, throwback to episode Rick telling Daryl that he was cheating when he did the chokehold.
Yeah, that was great.
That is a throwback to season 1, episode 3. Tell it to the frogs, when Shane puts Daryl in a chokehold and Daryl tells Shane that's cheating, and Shane tells him to file a complaint.
That is an old school throwback. That's nice.
It's kind of cool to find these little things. Another thing with that whole episode, before I get to this tidbit that was told by Norman Reedus to Deadline, do you think that Daryl and Rick will make it all better and be buddy on stuff, or do you think that there's going to be a little bit of a tension there for the rest of the season?
They'll go back to buddy again, because they've had that on again, off again relationship for like all these seasons. Because you got to remember, he went through it with his brother. They went through it with like so many other things. Like I can't even keep track of them, of how many times they've been on and off. So
what about you, Zorro?
I thought it was a nice, cool little moment. Just as they're fighting each other, as Daryl has him in the chokehold, as soon as they realize there's something truly like dangerous about to happen, Daryl straight up lets go of him, gives him his hand, like pull him up. Like they're brothers. Brothers fight.
They're
still going to be brothers.
Boys will be boys.
I have no idea what Norman Reedus may or may not have said to Dateline or Deadline or whoever.
What
but
he told Deadline was this whole season, which we all know, Daryl's out for revenge. We know that. That's key. But he said that Daryl will, as the season goes along, pretty much goes rogue. He goes completely rogue off of everything. So, which could cause an issue with Rick if he's trying to keep things in line.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it will.
But I mean, we saw shades of that even now. He goes something along the lines of like, Rick says, "You're not going to do this," and Daryl says, "It's not your choice."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what causes the whole issue. So
that and a solid right hook.
Well, it's getting worse, because keep in mind, 2 episodes ago, I give you my word. You tell us what the stuff is, and I'll let you go. And that's all a man has is his word. And then Daryl shoots him, and Rick gives him the look of like, what the,
Yeah.
Now we have this happen where it's, we can't do this. You're right. You can't do this. And now we start a fight against each other. Mm-hmm. So it's, yes, they're brothers, but it's escalating.
Oh, for sure.
Slowly.
And when does it get to a point?
Episode 13.
Yeah.
Mid-season break. That's when it gets
mid-season break.
What
that cliffhanger.
And once again, Daryl is not part of the comic book, so you really don't have any type of thing to kind of figure out with his storyline or to look off of. So, and this isn't going to happen. God, don't let this happen. But how insane, if you want to really close a season this year.
No.
How insane would it have to be where Rick has to?
No.
I don't think it'll happen, but how crazy would it be?
People would riot.
I would riot.
It'd be
People
worse.
are kind of rioting already. They're getting to the point of where it's getting to like, I think I love the show, but I think 2 seasons we have left in it? 2, 3?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we're in season 8? Yeah. This isn't The Simpsons. It's not gonna run for 20 years.
And Kirkman's over with Amazon now, and that's what's kept.
Which I was kind of surprised to see him on Talking Dead the other night.
Yeah, but that's kind of what's kept Norman Reedus around.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kirkman. So it wouldn't surprise me if something happened. I don't think it will, but you're seeing this precipice that they're almost trying to kind of build, but. Going on. If you guys think that there's no way in hell that anything could happen, that they could ever have a falling out, leave it in the comments below. Let us know, or let us know in the chat right now. Or
if Daryl gets killed, would you still watch? Let us know.
Yes, absolutely. If Daryl were to die, by Rick's hand. By Rick's hand, because Rick has to save people because Daryl can't get past revenge. Would you still watch if there's a reason for it? So
I'd stop watching.
we already. Mrs. Malice says no.
I'm already too deep in. I can't stop now.
I think I'd be the same way. I'd want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Or like I stopped watching it for Glenn died. So
yeah,
that was hard.
But see, that's one again. People knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I find you.
I find you.
God.
But they go their separate ways. Rick goes walking off and everything like that. We get more.
Looks like I'm walking. Yep.
Yeah. And you were talking about how those guys were stormtroopers last week shooting the wrong things, and clearly they hadn't. What they were trying to do was take out the car and make it so they couldn't chase them anymore.
Yeah, they did.
It just took longer.
I did notice in a rewatch, or actually, I think it was when I was watching Talking Dead, where he shot the crap out of that engine block. Like it was definitely that Jeep was no longer usable.
And now Rick's walking. So there was a reason behind it. What they were trying to do, they just he had momentum on his side in the crack shot and shake and bake from Daryl.
Shake and bake.
But getting back to where they focus back on after the fight is more of what's going on with Gabriel and Negan. We see Negan, as Rick said, a man of his word, and Negan, same type of thing. They get set up to get away from the zombies, do the whole gut trick.
After Gabriel makes a fairly decent sized play, he tries to kill Negan. That was impressive.
But did he try? He just grabbed the gun.
No, he shot too.
Did he shoot?
Yeah, he shot. He missed. Because as soon as he grabbed the gun out of his waistband, Negan came around and knocked it to the side as he shot. Mm-hmm. So he didn't actually hit anything but the wall. But yeah, he was trying to kill Negan.
To the thing they were in too. It attracted more zombies.
Well, I mean, they were already surrounded, so that wasn't going to make a huge difference.
But it made it worse.
Yeah.
But due to all that, due to getting Negan to finally confess, because Negan knew we need each other to get through this. We can't do it, just one mono. We get the human side of Negan because he finally gets a confession from him. We also get both people being men of their words. Gabriel said if excuse me. Gabriel said that if he would confess, that he would come out and help him, and Negan confessed. Mm-hmm. And then he came out and helped him. And the best scene of the episode, in my opinion, Negan popped him in the nose. What did you think? What did you think about the scene, Mrs. Malice? Were you kind of like right on?
Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties with Zorro, and he's restarting his link right now.
Very bad.
So while we're waiting for Zorro to come back really quickly, what was your favorite? Because that was my favorite scene, was just getting that pop in the nose from Negan. I thought that was hilarious. What was your favorite scene of the episode?
The Daryl Rick fight, because it was like watching two brothers fight, and I kind of, even though it was kind of bad, I kind of liked it because it just showed that they're still good friends, because even though they're in a fight, they're still, they notice something like we were talking about, the fire, the Jeep catching on fire or whatever. They're stopped to save each other. So even though they were fighting, so it just showed brotherly love.
And once again, folks, if you've never been here before, this is your first of our MaliceCast TV talks for The Walking Dead that you've been watching. Go check out our other casts. We've been doing one for every single episode this month. If you're enjoying this, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to come back for the others. And you'll see why Mrs. Malice liked the fight, because she has explained immensely in all the other episodes. She loves the fighting, the gore, and the blood.
I do.
So
with me.
it's never a guess. Each time you watch, you'll know which scene will be Mrs. Malice's favorite.
Yes.
Favorite of the episode. It'll usually be the one that has to do with revenge or something.
Except for watching the tiger get eaten, that was not my favorite scene.
No, nobody likes that. We don't like animal cruelty.
Yes.
Whatsoever.
You can't kill Shiva. No.
But yeah, so they go and put the guts on him, make a little bit of jokative talk about dealing with the guts. Have they done that trick before? And of course they didn't.
Of course, they've done that trick before.
But Negan ruined. Here's the real question: is Negan's leather jacket treated so zombie guts don't ruin it? Because how
that is true. When he walked back in, he had no zombie guts on him. It was
no. He had the guts all over the jacket. The scene after he took the jacket off and he was just wearing his white. But it's
that's right. Yeah.
So does Negan have his jacket treated so it can be washed and cleaned and be good to go? Or is he like Gilligan and just has a closet full of leather jackets?
Right? Like how? Okay, everyone else gets dirty and grimy. Their clothes get dirty and grimy, but that jacket is like anti-dirty. Like no dirt could touch it. Even if you put stuff on it, it's gonna be clean again. So I think he's got a closet full of leather jackets.
That's what people offer him in appeasement to come live in the sanctuary. We give you a jacket.
Give you a jacket. Bob Wire for Lucille.
So speaking of the whole entire acting that we got out of Gabriel this week, Seth Gilliam is who plays Gabriel. EW Entertainment Weekly has a weekly segment with Josh McDermott, who plays Eugene. And he talks about the episodes every single week. This week, he said the most underrated actor on the entire cast is Seth Gilliam. That he thinks that he is by far one of the best actors on the show, and actually makes everybody else step their game up because of how good he does. Like people on set watch him and are like, "Dang it! Now I gotta do even better."
Yeah.
What do you think about Seth's acting this week?
I was pretty good.
Gabriel.
I mean, all of their acting is wonderful, but yeah, he was pretty good this week. Yeah, it's not like normally what we see, but it's really good. But then we saw more of him, so.
Yeah, I would agree with. I think this by far was his strongest episode as Gabriel. You've seen some other heart-to-heart episodes when he's talking to Rick or other people earlier in last season that were pretty strong, but this by far I think has been the strongest I've seen Seth Gilliam do.
And I mean, and seeing him from the start, from when they first introduced him all up to now, his character's grown so much, and to see him act that growing so well, because at first he was a huge coward. Like, I mean, they found him on top of a rock screaming at zombies. I mean, come on. To now where he was trying to shoot Negan, finally failed at it, but to see him come so well and just get so good, and have his creepy face and scare Negan, epic scene too. He's really good. I like him. I don't want to lose Gabriel now.
And, are we talking creepy face? Are we talking the smile that he gave? When that was the oddest, just weird.
What's happening? His reaction.
I'll give his acting grade A this episode for everything but that smile. That was like the just weirdest, odd.
It was too good though.
It was like that. Is it a smile or is it a? Because he didn't even like fully smile. It's just like a. This weird.
Kind of did. I'm pretty sure if he would have given Negan that look, Negan would have ran again. Or hit him with the wheel.
And I don't want to go too far without Zorro here, but we'll catch back up on stuff. He's having major issues. His his computer decided to do an update right now. So that's what's going on. That's why we're missing him. So this is why you have the two of us to talk.
Well, yay. He broke his computer.
We mentioned earlier about Eugene and Dwight. How do you think that's going to play out? Because clearly, like I said, Eugene knows that Dwight is the one. He put 2 and 2 together with the paint.
Yeah, with the paint.
You saw the marks on the bag. He saw the mark on his finger, which once again, go check out that video from Funny or Die because it is hilarious. But they talk about, is Eugene going to get caught literally red-handed because the mark's on his finger. It's not.
Okay.
So,
but the thing is, though, if Negan puts that together, and even though Eugene has the red fingers, I'm pretty sure Negan knows what Dwight does on his free time, painting figurines, making figurines. So I'm pretty sure Negan would be smart enough to know that it's Dwight and not Eugene, but he might think that Eugene is helping him. So that could be a problem.
Which Eugene kind of implemented towards, because if anybody's playing both sides, that's what Negan brought out to Gregory earlier, is you're playing both sides, so you can see who comes out on top. I think Eugene's doing it. I think Eugene is playing both sides. So he's always going to the person that he thinks can keep him
safe.
So
done it for the very
Negan's gone, which the factor that they didn't even think that Negan could survive. I mean, give the guy some respect. Right. But Negan's gone, so they're already discussing that Negan's probably dead. And Simon clearly looks at that as a situation to try and take the lead on stuff. And the one person that steps up to Simon properly is Dwight.
Yep.
And then you get the whole interaction between Eugene and Dwight where they, say thank you for keeping my back. And Dwight's just like, no, you were right. You were, but once again, he's just looking at where's that power play that I can keep myself safe. Oh, this is the guy that I can align myself with because he's going to protect me.
Yep.
Being that's said, and being that we know the way Eugene is, where he is a coward and goes after the person that can protect him, how quickly will he throw Dwight under the bus, or will he actually try to be a hero once and try and hold his tongue?
I think because he's grown so much.
It's a tough one. Yeah.
It's like, because he's grown so much too. It's hard to say like, oh yeah, he's going to throw Dwight under the bus. Like he would have, but because he's so different now, it's really hard to say what Eugene's going to do. Will he throw him under the bus? I think if Eugene's life is threatened to the point where Negan is about to take Lucio and smack him over the head with it, then he's going to throw Dwight under the bus. But if Eugene can see a way out of it, he might not, but at the same time, it's like, I think he would cower out and either say, he did it, and then run. Because then he's scared. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, I see is saying things in the chat room. So Negan's refrain to Gabriel as a creepy little guy cracked me up, referring to him as a creepy little guy cracked him up. And then he said he was confused by the red finger thing. Model paint lets him know it was Dwight. Yeah, because I don't think anybody else is painting with red paint. That's why.
Painting little figurines that he's made. Yeah, it's Dwight only. So we've seen Dwight's characters before too, when he left one back at Alexandria saying, I think it said sorry or something like that on it. He left a little note on it. So, and he had it hidden, and I think Rick spotted it. I think he would cower out.
He's back.
Yay, you're back. Nice
I'm
camera.
assuming you saw some of what was going on with the cast because you were typing in the chat. So,
well, the first question is, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, really? It's working. Nice.
A little choppy, but you're there.
You're choppy and you're all over the place.
It's a rare. Okay. What was the last thing we were talking about? 'Cause I'm pretty sure the chat's on like a 2-minute delay.
It was the factor of Eugene always goes after the person that can keep him safe. And
yes,
you pretty much
and
did
Dwight.
you did that with Dwight. So seeing that Dwight does have his head in the right place, kind of, and now knowing with the red paint that Dwight was the inside man.
I think that he's got to stick with. I think he's got to stick with Dwight at this point. Like, as you said, he sticks with the person that is going to keep him the safest. And I think that even though he has sort of thrown his lot in with the Savage at this point, I think you got to think he's still sympathetic to Rick's group.
Maybe for
Rosita. Yeah, and I don't know. I think that he sees that there's a long game playing out there where Dwight might be playing against the team, but in a fashion that he likes. So I don't think he's necessarily going to throw Dwight under the bus unless it comes to the fact that that people start blaming him or calling him the rat.
He's got basically a time limit on it with Negan because Negan told him, "I'm going to expect you to figure this out."
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he wanted him to figure out the horde thing.
Well, no, he wanted them to figure out who it is who's the mole, who's the one giving up the information.
Sure.
So he said that I'm gonna expect you to figure this out, basically. And if you try your hardest to figure out and aren't able to do it,
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm not gonna I'm gonna kill you quickly, so you don't have to deal with all the madness that's gonna happen.
Yeah, starvation.
Madness is going to come and happen. Yes,
absolutely.
Negan has control right now, but desperation changes things.
Oh yeah,
quite a bit. Quick couple questions before we finalize out on the show and stuff like that. What do you think the fat lady is?
Ooh, I think it's the RPG that he said was at the cache somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
The fat lady singing is the end of things traditionally. So that would be whatever his game changer is, whatever his trump card is.
Yeah, I think it's the guns.
The first thing that came to my head was they got a freaking tank stash somewhere. Is what I thought. Because they've come across some other crazy stuff, getting those 50 cals.
Oh,
in the RPG.
By the way,
I have a question too for you.
Helicopter.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
That was the next one. So what do we think's going on with that? Some people thought it was a throwback to Rick seeing the helicopter in Atlanta,
Yeah, like season 1.
A helicopter?
I seriously went, oh crap, the helicopter's back.
Yeah.
So,
like, is there a surviving colony of military people somewhere?
Well, that's not the first time we've seen a helicopter too, because a helicopter, when they were fighting the governor, crashed too. So this is like
that was a different clearly a different helicopter. Yeah. But third time we've seen.
But it's the third time we've seen a helicopter. So where are these helicopters coming from?
So do we think that's an entirely So that's what I want to know is, do we think that's an entirely different group? A, one. B, which is probably not it. It has no reference to anything. It's just they like throwing helicopters in every once in a while. Or C, once again, the guy that we don't know anything about right now, from episode 1 that Carl helped out, has something to do with that helicopter as well.
Oh yeah, we still haven't seen that guy since episode 1, have we?
Yeah. But because if it's the same helicopter, or in the first season, did Rick actually see that helicopter, or was it an illusion too? Could this be an illusion?
No, he did, and it was it first season or the second season? Because I seem to remember that the helicopter. I seem to remember like there was some theory about the helicopter flying that direction is what caused the horde to overrun the farm.
The first season, I thought, because it was on the way to Atlanta. It was Rick by himself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, somebody's out there with this. They keep episode 1. Let's throw a flash forward and never answer anything else, and throw this guy in there that we don't know anything about, and we're not going to go back and answer anything about him.
They're going to do that as like the mid-season finale. Like, hey, remember that stuff we talked about in episode 1 with old Rick and random Muslim gas station guy?
Well, it's now taken 5 episodes to get half a face, an eye, and a hand of the trash heapsters.
What?
Oh yeah.
Did
we are.
That's where Rick is on his way to.
Yep, we're on.
He thought he was going to go to the sanctuary. No. He's on his way to the scavengers.
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
No,
So
they showed a preview of next week's show too.
that's the
Oh
next
yeah,
step.
I
in the
didn't
plan.
see that.
He
Yeah.
said he had to do the next step in the plan, and Daryl said, "Well, if it doesn't work," and he's like, "Well, then it's it's basically."
Yeah.
So he's going back to the scavengers. What do we think's going on there? Do you think he's going to try and swing them back to him again? Can he trust them? In all honesty,
No,
Of course not.
They're flip floppers through and through because they're gonna go with who gives them the best deal because that's how they roll. So, and like she said, and last season he made a better deal, and that's why she switched.
so is he going to go in there and just say, "We don't want to mess with you. Don't mess with us. Stay where you're at"?
I got a better deal. I'll give you back the cat.
The cat.
The cat.
Those people really love their trash art.
Yeah.
Michelle likes it more.
Speaking of which, when's the next time we're going to see people at Alexandria again?
Next episode.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't see any of the previews, so.
Yeah, they are stretching out some of these things. This is also the first time since season, I think they said 5, where you've gotten Rick in 5 consecutive episodes.
Yep.
So, some interesting little tidbits and things like that. Last 2 things I want to touch on. Number 1, do we think that Negan was an aspiring rap artist in his previous life with his little rhyme?
I know, right? That rhyme was great. I wear the leather jacket. I carry Lucille. I got big old balls of steel, or whatever it was. It was like.
Do you think he was one of those weird teachers that would like rapped with his kids about ways to
the cool teacher?
Oh, dude! If he was a teacher, he was absolutely somebody's favorite teacher.
Oh yeah, he would have been my favorite teacher.
Yeah, and he talked like this. Yeah.
I want to know if he had like a ruling stick that he'd smack down to like, listen.
Yes, his teaching desk was covered in divots.
And then the final thing, what do we think's going on with Gabriel? Was he bit?
He was bit.
He was bit.
He was
you think
bit.
he was bit?
He was bit.
I can buy that.
We throw back a lot to Gabriel talking about don't let this be don't let me have a meaningless death that
Mm-hmm. And he said, what did he say he was there for? He was there to
He's
get
there
the
to get
Maggie's doctor. Yeah.
The doctor that was taken from Hilltop. So
yeah.
Was all this a suicide mission for Gabriel?
It seemed pretty random and happenstance, like the fact that he saw Gregory there and was just trying to help him out of some sort of misguided sense of, I guess, Christian goodwill.
But who's to say? Once again, Negan said about, has you ever seen anybody get sick from this stuff and everything? Him knowing the doctor's there, and you say he's bit, but what if he ate some of the stuff because he knew that would get them to have the doctor come and see him?
That's true. But yeah, the thing though about him being left behind, he wasn't meant to get left behind. He was supposed to get far and go with him. But since he got left behind, maybe he is turning this into a suicide mission to get Maggie's doctor. Because he's there. Hey, why not try to do some good? Try to get the doctor for Maggie. Because like I said, his character has grown so much, from being a coward on a rock, screaming help at zombies to being on the enemy line, on the enemy side, trying to get something for somebody to help him out. So
yeah. And the whole, don't let me have a meaningless death thing. That's definitely, I'm going to say with 97% certainty, he's going to die this season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Miss Malice says he's bit. What about you, Zorro? You think he's bit, or do you think he purposely?
It hadn't really occurred to me. I thought my first thought seeing him huddling, shivering in that little closet was, we're on easy street, and it feels so sweet. But no, I thought he was just sick. But because we.
So do you think he purposely made himself sick, or you think
has nobody gotten the flu in the last 4 years?
He looks like he has a zombie fever.
Look how quick that hit.
He definitely does. He definitely does. He does look bitten sick. I hadn't thought about it, but I could buy that.
Or like he said, maybe he ate some of it by accident or ate it on purpose.
Good. And weirdly,
How
that was one of the
disgusting,
things that I thought when Negan was describing the rotting entrails and all that stuff. I was like, oh God, I hope nobody eats any of that.
Yeah. Well,
So
you
it's
will
a
see what happens if that's the case. If that's what he did, if that's yeah. So yeah, let us know in the comments below because we are getting ready to finish the cast, so we won't be having any live chat anymore. But any comments about anything that we said, please let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the stuff. Do you think Gabriel's bit? Do you think he's on a suicide mission and he's purposely putting himself in harm's way so that he can get the doctor? Who was right, Rick or Daryl? And is Negan really a bad guy? Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on those and what you thought about the episode. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys coming and checking us out. If you want to check out any further endeavors from us, please go to the website malice-corp.com. You don't have to type it in. The link is in the description below, so you can click on that. We have a duplicate ICZorro now.
The computer's finally back.
Yay! As we're ending.
Yeah, right.
Come back next Monday when we talk about episode 6 of The Walking Dead and chime in some questions that you have on our Twitter. Let us send us tweets. Hit the links below in the descriptions to follow us. You can follow us at Malice Corp on Twitter, or you can follow the cast at MaliceCast on Twitter. You can follow myself at Mest_Malice Corp and send me questions. I'd love to know what you think about certain episodes. Questions you have about the episode. We don't need to know
different
that
questions. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, stuff having to do with The Walking Dead. Things that we can try and answer or discuss or talk about or geek out on. This is an endeavor of all things nerd from some regular people that just want to sit down and chit chat. So, where can we follow you?
I consider myself above average, but okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Regular people, sure.
Yeah. We didn't have our computers kick out on us.
Yeah. That's my computer.
No, we keep our computers updated like good people.
Zorro, where can we follow you?
At ICZorro on both Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
Yep.
And Mrs. Malice, if you want to follow her or ask any questions of her, the best one to go to is either go to Malice Corp, which is run by our producer, who is Mr. Malice.
Yep, my head.
Mr. Jack Malice. So you can send questions regarding her there about what she thought about episodes and things like that. Or you can hit up at Jack_Malice on Twitter and let him know. We are also on Instagram at Malice_Corp. And we thank you so much for coming and watching us. We appreciate all the wonderful views that we've been getting so far. You guys have really been embracing us as we talk about the Walking Dead. Visit us on Thursdays when we talk about Supernatural. I highly doubt there'll be one this Thursday, seeing as it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But we'll figure something out.
I think we already called that one out on the Supernatural cast. We said come back the week after Thanksgiving.
Okay. So they'll probably be doing a double dose for you guys the week after.
I don't even know if there's a show on Thanksgiving. I have to check it out.
There's probably going to be one.
It's CW, so they don't have anything else. They don't have football on top of their stuff or anything. So
yeah, so they'll probably
they don't have anything else.
The Vikings are playing. I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, you do that. Thank you once again, everybody, for coming and talking Dead with us. We're not doing. That's not the show we are. We're MaliceCast TV. We talk. We're not talking Dead.
Yeah.
God, if
we're not paid. We're not paid to talk about the show.
Discussing Dead.
We are just friends and geeks and nerds that love to talk about all things nerd and things we love. So come back, join us again next week. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see last week's episode, hit that link that's going to pop up there. If you want to see something from our channel, we have a lot of videos of Comic-Con and all different types of stuff. And you want to see what's recommended for you based off of your likes, hit that link that pops up there. And if you don't know how to subscribe to us, hit the link that pops up there and that'll let you subscribe. Thank you so much for coming. We will see you guys next week, and don't get bitten.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Bye.